What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on Scar Tissue by Seth Race. Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe if you like magic reviews and other things involved around magic and mentalism. If you like the video, give it a like. Any questions, comment in the comment section. We'll get that out of the way. Also, feel free to join the secret access group on Facebook. So that's just a group that I've created on Facebook, which allows us to interact, have discussion, more in-depth discussion, and then there's lots of good conversation on there, as well as some unlisted videos, which I don't publicly post. Also, if you haven't checked out my last review, which was on Ian Brennan's Magic Effect Randomizer, it's a book, and I'm giving one away. So check that review out. It was the last one I did, and I'll be doing a giveaway for the book right after I finish reading his book full of essays and routines, which I'm about halfway through. So I'm going to review that and then do the giveaway. All right, let's get to Scar Tissue. So first off, before I get into what it is, I will mention that I will be doing some comparisons to branded. So this is a blister effect, so is branded. They're two completely different gimmicks. The only reason that I'm going to be doing some comparisons is I know a lot of people are familiar with branded, and it's something that I've been using daily for the last 15 years. So reason being for that is I think that there are some advantages with this, but at the same time, I don't know if it's going to completely replace my branded gimmick. So we'll just get into kind of some of the differences, because I know that there are a lot of blister effects out there and a lot of people are familiar with that one. Okay, so Scar Tissue by Seth Race. What is this? So this is a blister effect. Now, this one allows you to blister any one of the 52 cards into your fingertips. So this one has an advantage over many of the other ones out there. I think, to my knowledge, the only other blister device that allows you to do all 52 cards is Kaylin Morelli's Method 1, I believe it's called. I have it, but I haven't used it in a while. So I think that one is the only other one that allows you to do all 52 cards, but a completely different gimmick. And I think I like the way that this one works a little bit better. So with that, that's what this is. Now, it is in the form of a Sharpie, so something that magicians and mentalists carry with us all the time. So that's the nice thing, is you're not carrying an extra prop or gimmick that can only be used for one thing, right? So you can use this as your regular Sharpie. This gimmick allows you to do a thought of card to blister, right? Whereas other gimmicks and blister effects, you have to force a card. So that's the thing with branded. I love branded, but you have 3 revelations, and that has to be forced. Whereas this one, there is no force, right? You can do any of the 52 cards, and this will take care of that. So what do you get? You'll get a Sharpie with the gimmick obviously on it. And then you'll get the tutorial, which is inside here. So this is the packaging. It's nice packaging if you're into that. What is the quality? So the quality of this is really good. The only thing that I've noticed that isn't great is maybe the material that the gimmick is made out of, the type of plastic. And it's not that it's bad. Like, for achieving its purpose, it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to. I can't see this thing getting broken to where you're not going to be able to perform the blister effect. The only part that you have to watch out for is the clip. So I'll just do a comparison here with 2 Sharpies. The clip on a regular Sharpie, you can hear the it's kind of strange, but you can hear the quality, right? Whereas this one, so the clip, I think, will be fragile. It could break off just because of the type of plastic that this is. So again, it will not affect doing the effect. It's just if you do use the clip to hold your Sharpie, just be a little bit careful with this. Other than that, the quality is great. The tutorial. So the tutorial is really good. Seth goes over kind of the history of this because he's been working on this for a long time. It started with prototypes that I think had 2 revelations up to the entire 52. So he goes over that, and in that he then explains kind of how to best use this, how to familiarize yourself and memorize the gimmick, the positions. Now, the suits, they're in chased order, so that's easy to remember. And then, it's not too difficult to know where each value in suit is. In the tutorial, you will also get 3 routines. You will get a thought of card, so any thought of card to blister, and then you'll get a couple other routines with cards. One with one's just kind of your standard card to blister effect, and then the other one has more of a voodoo type routine surrounding it, which is good. It uses a business card and a lighter. So that's the other thing. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit, but you obviously don't need a flame or a lighter with this if you don't want to, and I will touch on that in a little bit because I actually have a routine that I'm going to share with you that I've been doing to use this without any type of flame. Now, the difficulty level on this, it is a little bit more difficult than other blister effects that I've used in the past, and I think I've used the majority of them at this point. So the difficulty level, the symbols, I guess the impressions on here are somewhat crowded, which you can imagine if you have that many on a single Sharpie cap. And I hope that in doing this review, people don't think, hey, you're revealing where it is and things like that, because I mean, if you go on any of the sites that offer this, I bought mine from Penguin. I don't know if it's available on other sites, but it shows the gimmick right on there, right? And they're very transparent about it, which I think is good, because honestly that's what pushed me to purchase this specific one. Anyway, it is a little bit crowded, so you will want to familiarize yourself with the gimmick. You'll want to kind of practice it and get used to where everything is so that you're not having multiple impressions on your hand. I don't know if I want to do an up close. I guess I can, because it is on the Penguin site, and in all honesty, like, this review channel isn't huge. People are going to be going to Penguin more than they're going to be coming here. So, if anybody's worried about me showing the gimmick, more people will see it on Penguin anyway, so it doesn't make it right. I don't know. I want to give you guys as much information as I can. So there we are here. So also very well hidden, right? Like, it's and I do like the look of the, I'll try to get it to focus here. All right, no such luck. There we go. I do like the look of the numbers and the suits. They have kind of a good font, I think, for what it is, the type of effect this is. Angles. So your angles are good. I don't think you have any angle issues to worry about. You can do this in your pocket. You can do it out in the open if you want to hand your participant the Sharpie. In one routine, Seth has them draw a hand. So while they're drawing the hand with the marker, you're getting your impression. So yeah, there really are no angle issues. You can do this openly in front of your participants. They're not going to see anything. Setup and reset, there is no setup. It's an instant reset. The nice thing about this too is that since it can be used on any Sharpie, you don't have to worry about the Sharpie running out and refilling it. You just move the cap onto the next Sharpie. There are no arts and crafts. It's ready to use out of the box. Can it be inspected? So, I mean, I've casually handed this out, not even doing this effect, right? People have used it. They haven't noticed anything on it because you're not drawing attention to it. It's, if you take the cap off, they're not touching the cap and feeling any kind of thing that isn't normal or natural. So I don't think you have to worry about examination with this, because they will never trace things back to a marker, which is nice about blister effects, because I think in all the blister effects that I've used, nobody would ever suspect what I'm using as the method. Okay, so I mean, I wouldn't hand this to somebody to look at, right? But why would you? Nobody's ever going to say, even with a normal Sharpie, here, can you sign this card and just check the Sharpie out? Nobody's going to do that. So as far as examination goes, I don't think that's something that you have to worry about with this. Pocket space. It's just a Sharpie, right? It goes in your pocket. Is it a worker, and who would use this? So that's what I like about blister effects, is because I think it's as much mentalism as it is magic. And I know that certain routines will have more of a mentalism feel than others, but I think even if it's in its most basic form, like if you have a specific card that you want to force and you force that card and just do the blister revelation, like that's more of a magic trick. But I think the fact that you are kind of altering your body and causing something physical to happen to you just kind of gives that a mentalism feel as well. So as far as who would use this, I think that this is good for magicians and mentalists alike. Is it a worker? Yeah, 100% this is, right? Because you use Sharpies. A lot of people use Sharpies in their working sets, whether you're a magician doing an ambitious card routine, or you are doing like double cross, or you're a mentalist doing billet work, right? Or whatever, writing, having somebody write down a thought or a word. You're always carrying a Sharpie. So the fact just that you can throw this on any Sharpie and you have an additional effect, definitely a worker. The other thing too that I will say is beneficial with this one is that the thought of card to blister, there, you don't need a flame for this to make sense, right? So if you're working in an environment where there's absolutely no fire allowed, you can still achieve this effect. And again, I'll touch on this when I talk about my routine here just before pros and cons. What's the price, and is it worth your money? So this is $29. I think that's a good price. There's a lot that you can do with it, more than you can do with other blister effects, and it's something you can carry on you at all times and use in any situation. So I think that this is unique and very versatile, so I would definitely say that the $29 is a good price. Now, we'll get into pros and cons, but first I'm just going to share a routine that I've been doing, because obviously with other ones, like for example, branded, right? You don't necessarily need a flame, but it wouldn't really make sense not to have a flame, because you do need a lighter. Whether you choose to show that lighter or not doesn't matter. But I just think that with this one, you have more options, right? You're not forcing something, so it can be a lot more clean, having them think of a card. So what I've been doing in using this before giving my review is I have been doing a thought of card to blister without any flame. And the way that I go about this, and this is very similar to the routine that's given in the tutorial. So I'm not giving anything away, like you just use it as it is, but the way that I present it, so that I'll just go over it. But what I do is I have them think of any playing card. So maybe it's their favorite playing card or whatever, right? And one thing that I like to do, just a little subtlety, is I say, now just imagine kind of like a blank screen or a blank slate, and in the middle of that is just imagine the playing card, right? And in doing that, you're showing your fingertips clean, right? There's no you're not hiding anything, you're not doing anything. But the reason I do this is because even though you're not drawing attention to your hands, later on they will often make note, and they have when I've done this, that I saw his hands. They weren't on there before. The blisters weren't on there before. So just by doing that, you're showing, clean fingertips with nothing altered, right? So then I have them think of their card. I achieve the blister or the impression, right? And then without using a flame, since from the beginning this has all been in their head. There's no additional props or anything like that, like a deck of cards or anything. So since they've imagined it from the beginning, I say just imagine the number or the value and the suit of that playing card on that screen. And then I have them imagine a flame burning the screen, right? So maybe I don't even know why I'm saying screen. I don't say screen, I say like a sheet of paper. And then I say imagine that sheet of paper going up in flames as things heat up. And then I kind of reach out to where they're imagining that sheet of paper, and then I pull my hand back like, right? And just from the whole imagination thing, then I show the blister, right? And the way that I've been doing that is it stays basically propless, right? You need a prop, but the prop never comes into play. So from the beginning to the end, it all happens by their imagination. And I found it to be extremely powerful and strong. It's gotten great reactions. So that's one thing that you can do with this that I think would be difficult with other impression devices, because you're usually having to force something and it's not as free and open. Whereas this, from beginning to end, they're only using their thoughts. So I think that this is perfect to use in that kind of situation. Okay, so pros and cons. So the pros, obviously, you have all 52 playing cards right on here. The cap itself is well made. It will fit on any Sharpie, so you don't have to worry about refilling or anything like that. The only thing that I think isn't the best is just the clip, right? I think that might break, but I'm not somebody who uses the clip. Usually with a lot of my Sharpies, actually, if I'm doing any kind of sleight of hand with the Sharpies, like sleeving or the flip stick move, I usually take a knife and I take the clip off. So to me, that's not a big deal, but for those that maybe carry their Sharpie using the clip, that could snap. So just be careful that you don't end up losing the Sharpie, right? If that happens. Negatives. So it's a catch-22, right? Because the positive is the negative, right? The positive is that you have a free choice of all 52 different options. The negative is that because of that, it's quite crowded. So just take some time to familiarize yourself with the gimmick. When you do that, the initial negative probably won't be a negative anymore. It'll only be a positive. So I do just mention it for that reason. Aside from that, I don't think I have any negatives. Everything about it is good, right? So with that, I don't know if there's anything else that I can really cover on this. I would recommend checking this out and picking it up if you are somebody who already does a blister effect, or if you want to get into it. I think this is a great option. With that, I will leave a link in the description below, and any questions, just feel free to comment, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But with that, we will see you at the next review.